Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we are going to be doing the third part to What If Goku Got Stronger from Pain. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Android 18 doesn't let this get to her and carries on anyway. Flying straight toward him, she throws in a kick, but Raditz steps beside it. Even with his larger frame, he can dodge quite easily and does so with a smile on his face. As she continues and tries to land another strike, he dips under it and then throws a punch over her guard before launching a ki blast into her torso at point blank range. This sends her sliding back several meters and the domination from Raditz only continues. His raw strength is far above hers. I mean, he is 6 feet something and still a muscle monster. He might not be like somebody like Nappa, but he is much more muscular than either Goku or Vegeta. 17 steps over his sister as if she's trash and doesn't even look at her. 17 is stronger than 18 and puts up a better fight, but there's nothing he can do. He still loses, but then 16 urges for them to retreat. Their mission is to kill Goku and they shouldn't sustain grave damage before their mission is done. Go on then, leave, Raditz shouts, before turning back to his crew. Vegeta and Raditz receive senzu beans, meaning their injuries vanish, and then they have to think about what they're going to do next. To be honest, Trunks urges for them to just go out and search for them. They have the power advantage now, they shouldn't waste it before innocent people die. From what they've seen, the androids are very erratic and will do anything on a whim. Since they're so strong, they have to make sure they're taken down quickly. If they don't get what they want, if they challenge their mission to destroy Goku, they can take out their anger on innocent humans that surround them. Trunks has seen the worst of them. He knows what could happen at any second. As a result, while Goku is healing from the heart virus, Raditz and Vegeta begin their search for these androids. During this time, Goku is recovering from the heart virus. He isn't faring too well, but it's good to know that he won't just die from the virus. Additionally, this feeling of sickness isn't just making him bedbound, but it's powering him. The pain of illness is fueling him. The feeling of annoyance that he can't join in and help the fight against the androids, the fear that anybody could die if they're left to run wild, it also makes him stronger. At this time though, Cell appears. In their search, Vegeta just manages to find him. "What are you supposed to be?" he asks, a little grossed out by his appearance. "Why, I'm Cell, Vegeta," Cell says, raising his arms. The fact that this being knows his name is confusing, but Vegeta isn't scared. He's a Super Saiyan, what is there to fear? After his tough fight with Android 18, he's stronger and certain he could beat her if they were to fight again. Each tough battle only advances him past his opponents, past his rivals. Explains his nature, and Vegeta is impressed that somebody like him could even exist. However, yet again, there's no fear. He is still stronger and he's sure of that. Entering his Super Saiyan form, he charges straight to Cell and wipes away his confident smile. Smashing his knee into his chin, he throws him more than 10 meters into the air before launching his Big Bang attack on him as he is left to descend. He lands it perfectly and destroys a lot of the surrounding area from the massive explosion zone. Cell is left very badly injured from the explosion, but he stands and uses the solar flare to escape. He's covered in his own blood and, to be honest, isn't doing very well. However, he can't die before he finds the androids and achieves his completion. Again, Vegeta asks, furious at being caught by that solar flare twice now. Raditz is continuing his search, flying across the skies in Super Saiyan and trying to cover every inch of the planet in the process. This is what Vegeta and Raditz continue to do for numerous days. Vegeta tries looking for Cell because he has a key signature that he can actually search for. Unlike the androids that draw their energy from the infinite batteries inside them, Cell is an actual living being. Even though he can search for him, Cell is very good at hiding because he knows that he's coming for him. It's arduous, and Raditz never thought he'd be doing something so selfless and heroic like this. He'd never be bothered to go around searching for some random people to try and help others like this a few years back. As he's lost in his thoughts though, he runs up on Cell. It's been a while after his fight with Vegeta and he's absorbed many humans. Not only that, but below them is an island with the androids. They watch them above from behind the trees and look terrified. They can't hide any longer and they still don't know where Goku is at all. Things aren't looking great for them. "Get out of my way, Raditz. It's best for you that you don't try and take a fight with me," Cell explains. Seconds later, Vegeta arrives by Raditz's side once he feels their strong ki meeting. It's Cell again, Vegeta realizes, but this isn't why he's shocked. What he's shocked about is how much stronger he's become in such a short time. He's been absorbing power, making himself a stronger warrior to protect himself against the likes of them. This time he's absorbed many more humans than in the canon timeline. He isn't against someone like Piccolo that is terribly powerful and brutal. Vegeta could have killed him if he tried to continue fighting him. The three land on the island below them and Raditz decides to take the fight on alone. Entering Super Saiyan, he speeds off towards Cell and the two warriors clash. At first they fight like equals and this shocks Vegeta. They almost take turns in landing hits and after a short time it looks like the battle could end in a stalemate. Raditz punches Cell right in the face but then gets a kick to the jaw himself. Cell follows with a punch straight to his solar plexus and this hurts him quite badly. Stumbling back, he still manages to grab the green fighter by the head and thrusts his knee into his nose. As this happens, they see the androids trying to escape. That's when Cell completely takes his mind off the fight and looks away from Raditz. This confuses him. Why is he so interested in these androids? Too scared to fight us again, Vegeta asks, before flying toward them and blocking them off. We've been looking for way too long for you all. What is the luck that we found you all at once, Vegeta says. They're in quite the predicament. Android 16 looks around them trying to find the best mode of escape, but once he takes in the powers of Vegeta and Raditz along with a massive number of other parameters, their chances of escape are very small. This is when Cell leaps up at 17 and captures him before any Saiyan can react. A bright light is released and Vegeta's face becomes that of confusion. What is even happening? Raditz and Vegeta are left to kind of just look at Cell as he glows, struggling to wrap their heads around this. Once they feel the level of ki coming from him skyrocket, their feelings of confusion swiftly change to that of concern. Vegeta throws in his signature Big Bang attack, but Cell has protected himself with one of his energy shields. Once the smoke around him fades, he's revealed with little to no injury. Semi-perfect Cell is here. Vegeta flies in anyway, kicking him in his chest. This kick does absolutely nothing though. Cell doesn't even move. Vegeta then continues with a barrage of punches and kicks, but each one isn't strong enough. He can't do a thing to defeat him. Raditz looks quite surprised at this, but he knows that he's stronger. He has to take this fight himself. Using instant transmission, he appears right behind Cell and tries to throw down a double axe handle, but Cell elbows him in the chest. The attack looked terribly low effort from Cell, but this sends Raditz down into the island like a bullet. He's knocked out from that single punch and Vegeta is next. He grabs the prince by his head, squeezing and straining his bones. Vegeta struggles and grunts in agony once he feels the pain across his head. Blood starts flowing down his face and scalp, leaving a horrifying image for the androids to witness firsthand. Cell then places his other hand onto his chest and looks to blast him to smithereens. He looks down and all the Saiyan Prince can do is give him eyes of mercy. No matter how much he tries to resist, he can't remove this massive hand from his head. A split second later, Goku kicks Cell right in the chest and frees Vegeta. Already in Super Saiyan, he glares down at him before throwing a senzu beam to Vegeta. "Get out of here, leave now," Goku says, but the androids don't reply. They don't immediately think that he's talking about them, but then he turns to look in their direction. "This guy's going to try and absorb you all, just leave now," Goku shouts. Now this is the guy they're supposed to kill right here. However, after a very brief analysis, 16 knows that they can't kill either Cell or Goku. It would be best for them to retreat and recalculate. The two androids fly off, but Cell tries to fly after them. Before he can though, Goku drops both knees onto his back and throws him down and into the waters adjacent to the small island the androids were hiding on. Descending, he awaits Cell's ascent from such waters with his arms crossed. After being sick for several days, as imperfect Cell was going across the world and absorbing humans, he felt intense pain as he was awake. The feeling of fever, weakness, illness, it was all in good stead as it made him a completely new fighter. As the pain left him, it left a new sense of energy and vitality within him. Cell rushes out in anger at Goku, foiling his plans of perfection. He won't take this lightly. Goku manages to evade many of his initial telegraphed attacks but gets hit with a kick to his chest. Even if Cell is predictable at times, that doesn't mean he isn't strong. The two start fighting and nobody can gain the advantage on the other. Goku outmatches Cell in terms of raw speed, but then Cell outmatches him due to his greater size from strength. Along with that, Cell is physically larger and what comes with that is durability. Even though Goku is landing more hits in the same amount of time, Cell is much larger, which means that he can take those attacks very easily. Both fighters are tired and continuing to tire. No one can claim the advantage. Suddenly, Goku starts shouting and veins show up on his biceps and head. Raditz and Vegeta, who have been watching from the side, don't really understand what he's doing here. He's already in Super Saiyan and seems to be at his full power. What will charging ki do here now? He's getting desperate. That'll give him no power, Vegeta says, with his arms crossed. No, Raditz replies. What do you mean? He hasn't gotten even a bit stronger. There might be a step ahead, something beyond Super Saiyan. Maybe he's searching for that, Raditz states. Vegeta is dubious of this claim. However, all he can do is watch and see. Suddenly, Goku's muscles puff up and it does seem like he's doing something here. Ascending further, he achieves the Super Saiyan Grade 2 form. Bulkier but more powerful, he charges at Cell and knees him in the face. Now this packs a punch. Goku is no longer the weaker of the two but has a clear strength advantage. Not only that, he has kept the speed advantage that he had previously. Punching Cell in the gut, he spins around quickly to kick him in the face. Before Cell can fly back, he grabs him by the tail and pulls him back in to land a sidekick to his solar plexus. As Cell falls back, he begins charging his Kamehameha wave. Cell comes to a stop, and as soon as he charges back at him, the energy wave is already flying toward him. Cell catches it and tries to push against it, but it's too late. It consumes him and gets sent off into space. As it dies down, he is revealed with dried blood and scorched flesh. He's heavily bruised up and his skin is cut in numerous places, but he's still in flight and still ready to continue. He's holding on by a thread though. He coughs out blood, then ends up regurgitating Android 17 like he did to 80. He then returns to his imperfect form and the android falls into the waters below them. The fight is over. Goku then blasts him away before he can do anything. He puts a lot of power into the one-hand energy wave, and the gap between Cell's power and his own is so large that even down to the cellular level he is broken apart completely. Cell has been defeated before he was able to achieve his perfection. Now 17 and 18 are free, but all these androids can see that they can't beat Goku right now. Therefore, they aren't really seen for a short while. They take it as a good sign that they won't lash out or attack anyone. Shortly after, Raditz ends up meeting 18 again and they soon get into a relationship. Trunks is born during this time along with Goten and Raditz Jr. Raditz Jr. looks just like his father but has the bright blue eyes of his mother, Android 18. During these years, the Saiyans can train together and stay connected to each other as a family basically. Goku, Vegeta and Raditz continue training hard and motivate their kids to go down that same path as well. Vegeta has calmed down a lot during this time, but the thoughts of his family making him weaker still linger. It feels like he's stopping himself from reaching his true potential. However, it's a great feeling to have a family, and he throws these dark thoughts into the back of his mind for now. Raditz is loving life, living in a lot more relaxed fashion, training, eating and chopping it up with his closest friends. It's weird to have gone from life as a weak soldier, constantly doing things he didn't want to having utmost freedom with immense power. Since so many years passed, the talks of threats to the universe are almost times of the past. It's been calm for so long, surely nothing can happen again. The fighters are preparing for the upcoming World Tournament. Vegeta humbles himself to train Trunks, and he does this because he doesn't want his son to be humiliated in the tournament. Raditz does the same with his own son, but Goku isn't too bothered about training up his son like that. He doesn't even think that far ahead to think about him being embarrassed in his fights. Goku just trains with him as he has done usually. The junior division of the tournament is almost conquered by Goten, Trunks and Raditz Jr. Before the final, Raditz Jr. meets Trunks in the semi-finals. Raditz swings back a leg and makes a fighting stance like his father. Trunks does the same, mimicking the stance of Vegeta. The next generation clashes. Both fighters remain still and careful, wary of the other. They haven't been together training for a while, and they kind of broke off to train with their respective fathers. This is in order to keep their progress concealed. Trunks was the stronger of the two before they stopped training together, so we can't be so certain anymore. However, Trunks is arrogant and feels like he still claims the title as strongest. He speeds forward and startles Raditz Jr. with his sudden change in speed. He lands a punch, but Raditz swings in an uppercut to his chin and then throws in a hook over Trunks' extended arm. Maybe the gap between them no longer exists. They continue with this type of fight, but Raditz Jr. does gain the upper hand. He is more powerful than Trunks and fights in a more calculated way as well. Trunks ends up getting hit in the fight and then rushes forward to try and get a hit back to try and get even in his mind. This means that he's easier to fight, since when he does that he becomes terribly predictable. Trunks gets angry and then powers up into Super Saiyan, punching Raditz straight in the chest. His punch is so powerful that he nearly throws him off the ring entirely. However, this is a mistake. If Super Saiyan makes them 50 times stronger, the gap between Trunks and Raditz Jr. will only enlarge if Raditz Jr. starts using Super Saiyan as well. The spectators are truly mesmerized, and Raditz follows suit with his own Super Saiyan form. He charges straight back at Trunks and elbows him in the chin before landing 2 gut punches. Trunks blocks the next, but he can't block everything. Raditz throws 2 powerful attacks, but also smart attacks, aiming at areas that he can't block properly. Trunks ends up on the edge of the ring, and Raditz then kicks at his upper chest, straight between his 2 raised arms. He lands a clean sidekick and throws him off the ring to take the win for himself. In the end, Raditz meets Goten in the final, but the gap between them is even larger. Goten can't stand much of a challenge to Raditz Jr. Raditz can't hide his pride at the victories of his son, and Vegeta looks furious to see his son defeated. Goku is happy for his nephew and isn't too bothered about his son losing. He is the youngest of the three and he put up a good fight anyway. Gohan has still been strong enough to become the Great Saiyaman, and what has happened is that during general life struggles he can grow physically stronger. If there's a tough project that he has to get through in school or there are certain dynamics at school, it doesn't only mentally challenge him but make him stronger. It's not as great compared to physical training, but it means that he hasn't gotten weaker but has instead gotten slightly stronger. In these 7 years as well, he has gained access to Super Saiyan and shows this off against Kibito. However, he is assailed by Yamu and Spopovich. The Saiyans follow them as usual and the initial fights against Babidi's fighters are rather similar. What is next though is Babidi looks to Vegeta to make him one of his next Majin fighters. As soon as the mind control begins, Vegeta almost succumbs to it. Those thoughts, the belief that he has grown weak, makes this his chance to claim the title of strongest once again. He shouts and enters Super Saiyan, becoming Majin Vegeta. The Kais are reluctant to just let Goku and Vegeta go off fighting, but Goku insists that he must. Whispering to Gohan, he says that it won't take him long. The two fighters end up in a rocky wasteland and both fighters ascend into Super Saiyan 2. This time it won't be like before Kakarot. The gap between us is too large, Vegeta claims. After receiving this power, he feels on top of the world. Nobody can stop him. That is true, Vegeta, Goku says, before moving so fast that Vegeta can't even react. Punching him in the gut, he knocks the wind right out of him. He's left in utter disbelief as he falls to his knees, struggling to breathe. Goku then kicks him in the side of the head, launching him through a whole gizzard rock. He then appears in front of him using instant transmission with his arms crossed. Vegeta just smashes the side of his fist onto the floor, cracking it and spitting out blood. He tries to concentrate his growing rage and leaps up to try and punch him, but he misses. Goku steps back, then kicks him in the chest, knocking him down to the ground. No matter how many times he tries to get up and fight back, it's useless. There's nothing he can do to win. Goku has completely outclassed him. Stop this needless fighting, Vegeta. Do you not care about your family, the new life you've acquired? This constant fighting is something of the past. Just forget about it, Goku insists. Vegeta just roars in reaction and leaps right at him to try and attack him. Goku then lands an uppercut that's strong enough to make it lights out for him. He goes stumbling down to the ground and leaves him knocked out. The fight has ended rather seamlessly. Since Goku has two factors that accelerate his training, Zenkai's and him growing stronger from physical and mental pain, the gap between him and his friends has only increased. Now the pain from training doesn't scare him. No, he actively invites it because he knows what he gets in return. After so many years of training in that way and doing such so often, it's become quite natural for him to use it in his training regimes. Soon after this, Goku returns and sees that Majin Buu is going to be activated. Launching a simple one-hand energy wave at this brown ball, he feels like the job is done. However, it isn't. Buu forms in a pink cloud of mass in the sky, eventually settling down to form the signature Majin Buu form. Now this could be an intriguing fight. Stay back, Kakarot, I want to see how strong he is, Raditz says, stepping forward as he stretches his arms. Getting into position, he fires off and aims straight for the Majin fighter. He enters Super Saiyan and looks to attack him from ahead, but elegantly steps to the side and creates a hole in Majin Buu's stomach with the kick to his left flank. He whizzes around him for many more attacks, using his explosive strength and speed to leave Buu a sitting duck, taking attack after attack head on. Soon arriving ahead of him, he launches his double sundae straight at him and puts quite a bit of power into it. As the smoke clears, Buu is left in small pink blobs that look inanimate. However, they start to jiggle and collect back to form Buu, and he looks totally unharmed. Raditz makes a face of surprise and shock, dropping his arms with defeat. How much am I supposed to hit this guy with, he wonders. That wasn't far off his full power anyway. What would stop Buu from just healing from his strongest attack even if he were to use Super Saiyan 3? All he can do is just give it a shot anyway. Let me try this, Raditz states, lifting his hand. As he does so, Goku signals for everyone to back up. Why are we retreating? Shin asks. We'll only get in his way. He's gonna take up this space anyway, Goku replies. Take up the space? Shin isn't exactly sure what is going on, but retreats just like him. A white ball of ki flies up into the sky and Raditz looks directly at it. His veins start looking a lot larger and he looks back down with a smile on his face. Let me show you the epitome of Saiyan power, he roars as he starts to transform. Not only that, but he begins reaching for higher levels of Super Saiyan. As he grows, he is enveloped in a roaring golden aura and the hair on his head grows even longer than it already is. Giving out a final roar, he appears in the massive form of Uzaru, with golden fur and long hair running down the back of his head. Super Saiyan 3 and Uzaru mix to form the strongest Saiyan transformation they can attain. Would you look at this power? I haven't done this in too long, Raditz says, clenching his new gargantuan hands. Looking down to Buu, he just kicks him into the air as if he's a football. Buu then aims his antenna-like appendage from his head toward him and shoots a precise laser blast. However, Raditz launches a mouth blast and stops it before it can do anything. Next, he begins charging his ultimate attack. A red energy blast grows in his mouth, and the energy he outputs starts shaking the ground. Everyone around him moves out even further once they feel how intense these earthquakes are. It even leaves rubble to run down adjacent mountainsides, and the blast soon looks as large as his torso. Pushing it forward with a final shout, the red ball slams into Buu and detonates upon impact. The light released is a pure white and dazzling even to the Saiyans that view it from afar. The explosion only seems to grow and destroys absolutely everything in its wake. Once the light has died down, nothing is left of Buu. All that remains is the flattened crater from the explosion. The Kais can't believe it. This Saiyan took out Buu that quickly. They knew these Saiyans on Earth were strong, but to see that they've outclassed the literal Majin Buu is almost quite scary. They thought they'd be near equals to them after seeing people like Gohan transform and not be that strong. However, the difference between Gohan and this Saiyan, for example, is massive, hard to comprehend really. With this, the Kais are off and peace has returned to Earth. The Majin seal on Vegeta is lifted and he really must take some time to reflect on the things he did. Raditz doesn't sugarcoat it either. He tells him what he's done is terrible and that he has to make a change. He's only doing what he knows is best for him. Vegeta feels so awful for the lives he took at the World Tournament, and he let that power and desire to be the best take him over. Now he let Bulma and his own son see him in that way, a truly evil person, a demon. He does come around though, and his views on life have changed. Now the will for him to grow and be the best will never cease, that's just how Vegeta is. However, he feels a lot more content with the other parts of his life and sacrificing training if that means he can rest and spend time with those that he loves and cares about. After a few years, the beginning of Super comes around and Beerus has arrived on Earth to try and find the Super Saiyan God. Now he has his little fight with Goku beforehand but takes him down with just 3 hits. It's when he gains Super Saiyan God when things start to get interesting. The fight starts off similarly to how it was in canon. Beerus holds back a whole lot and Goku holds back a little himself but eventually ends up using his full power. Goku is excited to be fighting such a strong foe, but he knows that the fate of his whole planet rests on his hands. If Beerus isn't pleased, he could lose everyone, everything. Now that fuels him. He knows how to use emotions to fuel himself and ends up losing his cool in the battle. Beerus can see that he's fighting with more aggression and power, but it's still not that interesting. Ending up in the upper areas of the atmosphere, the air is growing terribly thin. Goku can feel himself suffocating and the pain is unlike anything he's ever felt before. I mean, he's been underwater and stuff, but once it gets bad, he's already getting air by that point. Here, he's being forced to stay here where he can't get enough air in and it hurts a lot. What accompanies that pain is that signature warm feeling. He's getting stronger. You've done well, Saiyan. I'm afraid to say that you haven't met my particular standards and that your planet must be. Leaping at Beerus as he's talking, he tries to land a double axe handle onto the top of his head, but Beerus stops him with a finger. Would you not try and attack me when I'm trying to explain that your planet will be destroyed? Goku just starts shouting, interrupting Beerus and throwing himself at him basically. He's in his base form now, so his attacks just won't hurt him. Beerus starts getting irritated and finger flicks him in the chest. Now this attack hurts him like hell. The pain is sent straight through his whole body, but you can feel that in just this minute or so, he's gotten way stronger. Even those below can feel it happening too. Did you feel that? Vegeta asks, with Raditz by his side. No, what? He asks, as everyone is looking up to try and see the fight. Kakarot's ki is exploding. I don't know what's happening up there, but he's just gotten way stronger all of a sudden. It keeps growing too, Vegeta states, watching from below. Goku coughs out blood from receiving the next punch to his gut, then just grabs Beerus' tail to bite it as hard as he can. Goku coughs out blood from receiving the next punch to his gut, then just grabs Beerus' tail to bite it as hard as he can. Beerus is getting quite annoyed of this animalistic outburst from Goku since he just won't stop coming at him. It's like the harder he hits him, he comes back even faster. It makes no sense whatsoever. What he can't keep getting out of his mind is destruction though. It's like he's being run by the power of destruction that allows him to just keep getting stronger. Now Goku is getting lightheaded from breathing thin air for so long. However, there is just enough to keep him going. His stamina is also much greater in this continuity from the more grueling training that he's put himself through. Suddenly, Goku begins shouting and enters Super Saiyan God again. Covered in his own blood, he doesn't seem to be stopping though. He continues shouting and trying to attain as much power as possible. He can't see those he loves die. He's tried his hardest to get power from just getting beat up, but the progress isn't what he was hoping for. The anger of being disappointed, the fear of seeing his family die, the ruthlessness of Beerus, all of these negative, painful emotions continue to weigh in on him but power him. Beerus can see that he is unstable, but doesn't quite understand why this outburst has come from out of nowhere basically. Suddenly, the red hue of his aura switches to blue and his hair follows this same colour scheme. Goku transcends into Super Saiyan Blue on his first day of acquiring God Ki. Now 50 times stronger than before, along with massive amounts of power boosting, he charges forward with speed that Beerus hasn't seen from him before. Beerus gets caught with his first punch since it was just so unexpected. How has he grown this much so fast? Goku then grabs his tail and throws him down as fast as he can. Diving down there, he shoots himself down like an arrow and starts to take in the denser, thicker air that he needs. Soon he can feel his mind stabilizing and his body feeling nourished and more vigorous. Flipping around to slow himself down, Beerus has also stopped, but that doesn't mean the fight is over. He leaps forward but realizes that he has still suppressed himself too much. Goku slips out the way of the attack and punches him in the face in the same motion. He then flips around violently to kick him back. This creates a massive 15-meter gap between them. Beerus just can't believe his eyes after receiving that attack. This Saiyan has turned into a new fighter from out of nowhere. Even if he is surprised, he's quite angry to have been hit so cleanly like this, especially in front of spectators. After being the strongest for so long, it doesn't make it so easy to realize that he doesn't have total control here. Rushing straight back, he wins Goku with the first punch, before throwing two massive punches to his face. It's surely over now. A tooth flies out Goku's mouth on that last strike and he returns to his base almost upon impact. He descends slightly but stops. Now Goku's mind here isn't straight. To call it consciousness would be wrong. All he has is a will to win, a will to save those he loves. The very thought of watching all of that disappear is enough to will his body to move. He doesn't move, but what he does is stay in flight. That's all that can be done. His eyes look lifeless as he looks down into nothingness. His hair covers most of his face, but those watching from below can see the zombie-like visage staring down at them. Is he even alive? How's he not fallen yet? Raditz asks, a little concerned now. Out of nowhere, Goku seems to spring back to life with a devilish smile on his face. Blood is on his teeth yet again, like in the Namek saga when he was facing Frieza, and he looks back up to Beerus. Roaring, he returns to Super Saiyan Blue and looks to complete the fight as if nothing's happened. The emotions have totally conquered his mind as he continues searching for more and more power. He lets his mind succumb to the pain as it just strengthens him even more. Beerus can feel the ki coming from him and starts to get alarmed. The gap between them is closing. Goku's body just continues feeding him with more power and Goku just laughs, even with so much physical and mental pain. This is power, this is strength. It's almost like Goku turns into a different person with this power. That insane demeanour isn't something that Gohan or Raditz sees in Goku often. He's usually bubbly and terribly naive, but here he honestly looks demonic. Dashing toward Beerus with everything he has, Beerus slips over his punch and lands a strong enough neck tap to knock him out. Goku is definitely lights out and goes crashing down to the ground. That's it for him. Beerus watches on with eyes of surprise as this happens. The Saiyan really crossed a massive gap in just minutes of their fight. He went from standing absolutely no chance against him to getting scarily close to his own power. He is still strong enough to win if they were to fight again, but he had to put all his effort into that final strike. Whis heals him and the Zenkai he receives is monumental. This already places him relative to Beerus and he's climbed past every other god of destruction in the process. As he awakes, the ki that they can feel from him almost exudes a physical pressure. It's so weird to feel how much stronger he's become in such a short time. It's like a totally different person stands before them. Even if Goku has been healed, his mind still needs a lot of rest. Nevertheless, he gets that rest that he needs and the Saiyans soon end up on Beerus' planet for training. As Raditz and Vegeta start to train Ultra Instinct, Beerus stops Goku. "What are you doing?" Goku asks. "You think you'll learn much from Whis?" "No. You'll train with him if you want after I show you something," Beerus states. "What is that?" Goku wonders, now curious. "The power of destruction," he states, before lifting a small rock off the ground to detonate it. So that will conclude the third part to What If Goku Got Stronger from Pain. Please tell me something you liked about this video, or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.